All right, I think we are live. So let's see how many people are here and how many people are still coming through. So I will wait a couple seconds and hopefully we get some people interacting. So let me just double check a few things as people hop on. All right, awesome. Looks like I see some people coming through. Awesome. So if you are on the call, you can hear me and also see my screen. If you can send through a double yes in chat. That's the little blue bubble there on the right side of your screen. If you can do that, that will be awesome. I just want to make sure that everything is good and that you guys can hear me. Give me just a second. All right. Oops. All right. Hold on real quick, guys. All right, cool. All right, awesome. Looks like we got a pretty good amount of people on this call today. So, if you guys can let me know, sorry about that little delay, but let's make sure that you guys hear and see me. Good, Danny, Todd, Todd. Yes, this our calls are always recorded. So we got Steve, Renee, Jason. Yes, Jason, I see your chat. So awesome. All right, Ron. And looks like Corey. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I think that's probably the most engagement that I ever gotten. Caroline, appreciate it. So, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to put a little disclaimer on this call right up front because, well, hold on. Let me get this call started. So, all right. So hopefully you can see that, kind of trying some new funky slides this week. So this week's call is how to use your cash buyer site to market for sellers. Okay, so this is kind of a little bit of a hack. Kind of integrates a little of the kind of the reverse wholesaling method. Now, a lot of people have different opinions about reverse wholesaling. There's always this argument: find your cash buyers first. And then there's this argument saying that if you got a deal, you'll find you'll find your cash buyers. So I can totally there's valid arguments on both ends. Okay, so but this call is not about reverse wholesaling, and this call is not really about coaching you through reverse wholesaling. This call is going to be for those that you really are having a hard time really dialing in on your marketing and maybe are not sure where to start. Okay, so if you guys are already doing SEO, you guys are doing some PPC, you kind of are maybe you know what's going on, you know where to market. This call may not be for you. Okay, so if you're implementing something else, this call is going to really be best for those that do have a cash buyer website with us, and then also have a seller site. And some of the concepts you can totally use for rent to own, for sure. But if you guys are really targeting other stuff like maybe note buying or land, this might not be the best call for you to be on. But again, you're more than welcome to join us. But if there's other stuff that you can be doing, like marketing, or maybe there's certain things that you haven't done yet, then I'll get off this call and get the stuff done. So if you haven't done the phase one, you just barely joined us, do that. So, and my other requirement for being in this call, and of course, there's no way for me to reinforce it, so I don't want to sound like a jerk. But I really need you guys to interact with this call. Okay, so be on standby. I'm going to throw some questions at you guys because I want this call to be specifically about where you guys are at. Okay, so if you do have a cash buyer site and you are trying to really hone in on your marketing for sellers, you don't know where to start, you have a very small budget, you're doing other marketing like, let's say, Facebook, bandit signs, so this call is really going to be for you. So just wanted to make sure that I understand that. Again, I just want to warn you ahead of time that this call is going to be specifically for if you have a cash buyer site and a seller site. So anyways, let's go and get started. So again, I think everybody, Jason, just the way that you sent through that question is how you interact. So, all right. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right, cool. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So again, this is how to use your cash buyer site to market for sellers. Okay, so a few housekeeping stuff before we get started. Carrot Casts, we got 2 of them. Your most recent one that was just released yesterday is with Max Maxwell. This guy is really, he's just a guy's a fun guy. I got a chance to, he's here locally in my state. I've gotten a chance to meet him. We got a chance to, he stayed with us in Phoenix. We rented a Airbnb, me and Pete, and we invited some Carrot members who wanted to stay with us, who took us up on our offer, and Max was one of them, and just got a chance to know the guy. He's very active on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and just really awesome to hear his ambition, his really what his life is as an entrepreneur, and it's just really cool to see him and the things he's doing, and also just how he's crushing it with Investor Carrot. So you guys check out that current Carrot Cast with Max Maxwell. Make sure you guys check that out. Very insightful. I would say probably one of my first, probably my top 5 of all the episodes currently with the Carrot Cast. Then we got our case study on our website, which is with Brian Rockwell. Of course, he is not a stranger to these coaching calls. I know he's been diving in. He's been just really doing awesome. Got a chance to meet him in Dallas. He came out and met us along with actually Renee. Along with Renee, Renee Martinez, who's on this call. So they're all out of Dallas and got a chance to hang out with them. And Renee actually got a chance to hang out with them for the entire weekend. So he was really gracious with his time. And it was just an awesome time. That's one of my favorite things about this job is I get a chance to hang out with you guys. You know, I travel a lot, and usually I make a point to try and get up a meetup going. So, but yeah, Brian, awesome. Just as I'm doing, no direct mail, no bandit signs, none of the offline stuff. Brian's just been really doing great with both SEO and also pay-per-click. So check out that case study. And also from last week, we have the power of recognizing pivotal points in life to scale up your real estate business with Tim. Again, Tim also is no stranger to these weekly coaching calls. I remember when he first joined us, he was always on these calls asking questions. He was setting up strategy calls. He was always in support asking questions. And so it's been really cool to see his business grow really right before our eyes. And he came up to our first edition Carrot Camp about a month or 2 ago, which I was there as well. And it was just really cool to hang out with him as well. So yeah, really cool. I guess this is the first time I've really never thought about it. Yeah, we got a chance to meet each and every one of these guys and spend some time with them. Just some really solid dudes, and really not just solid, but just, man, these are just action takers. They just kind of taken the system and ran with it, and it's really cool the results that they're seeing. And so make sure you guys are checking those episodes out. So weekly dose of awesomeness comes from Ron. FYI, I just assigned my first contract to a developer. They bought the land from a person who forged the original deed. The seller found me on my land site and wanted a quick close, and now we know why. Thank God for title insurance. Title insurance will make it right, but warn the new kids who may not think they need a title session their help. TGIF. So awesome. Again, Ron is also no stranger to our support. I know that he's always in there asking questions and looking for help and all that. So thanks, Ron, for sharing that. Pretty cool. So your coach for today, that is me, where the arrow's pointing. Name is Adrian Nez. And then there's the rest of the Carrot members. I think the only one that's missing right now is Janelle, Pete, Danny. Danny's a new addition to the Carrot team, which is really exciting. So yeah, this is kind of an older picture, so we'll need to update that. But yeah, so this is that's me, and don't want to spend too much time on that. You guys pretty much know who I am, and glad that you guys are here with me. So would like to ask, actually, before I answer this question, my question is, how many of you are in this call this is your first call. This is the first time you've been on a coaching call. Would love to say hello and just welcome you in. So if this is your first coaching call, please don't be shy. Send through a hello or me, or let us know your name, what market you're from, any of that. Again, my main thing is just make sure that we welcome you. And I always love welcoming in those that are brand new to the coaching call. So awesome. So we got a few. Danny, awesome. Welcome, Danny. Jason, I believe, yeah, Todd, awesome, from Virginia. Yeah, we got a pretty good amount of newbies, at least to the coaching call. So great. So awesome. Love it. So welcome, guys. Welcome. So there's Norwood. Awesome. Cool. Another there's Jason, all the way from Canada, wanting to do virtual wholesaling. Sweet. That's kind of been my thing so yeah, I'll share some of that stuff here. Norwood, hey, out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. So Norwood, actually, I will be up there near Wake Forest. I think it was going to be December. I have to look at my calendar real quick, but make sure that we connect. I'm going to be up there this month. Let me find out for you guys. So if you guys are in the North Carolina market, I'm going to be up in Raleigh. I think it was the 21st. December. Actually, what I'm going to do is would love to get as many Carrot members together on that day. I'm going to rent out a little boardroom where I'm staying. And also Carlos Zambara from Investor Fuse, who many of you might be using their CRM, Investor Fuse. That's who I use for my CRM. So we're gonna kind of get a meetup going. He's gonna kind of share some stuff on the lead management side of it, and then I'm gonna probably cover something on the leads generation side of it. So it should be a fun time. We did this last year. I had a retreat for my own real estate team that I did, and Carlos was happened to be in town, and we just had a really big get together. Had about 3 or 4 investors come down, and it was a good time, just very personal. So if you guys are in the North Carolina area, anywhere, yeah, maybe take a trip down. I would love to hang out and yeah, see how we can help. So anyways, let's see, Wayne, sweet. Then Danny said he's from Tampa. Awesome, cool. Let's see. All right, cool. Sweet. Okay, man, a lot of people here today. Let's see. I'm gonna double check something real quick here. Yep, yeah, a good amount of people. So and I'm sure most of you heard my disclaimer. Again, this call is ideally if you're a wholesaler, or even if you're not wholesaling. Well, you know what? Yeah, this is probably going to be best for a wholesaler, because you want to leverage any lead generation that you do, right? So I'm going to show you how you guys can really hone in on this, and it's going to kind of be a little bit different, but yeah, this call is going to be for those using the cash buyer site and who's a wholesaler, and also preferably if you guys have a small budget you can work with, right? Because this is really going to be intentional. So we're going to kind of mix in both free resources and then some paid advertising. So again, the great thing is this can be very effective if you're in a small budget, or you just don't know where to start your marketing. Sometimes we get so paralyzed on not knowing where to start. Okay, so where to, so this will, and so we're going to kind of use your websites as a catalyst. I always like to say, use your website as a catalyst for your lead generation. So that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. Suzanne, there's another person that's brand new. This is your first call. Awesome. Man, I am super excited that we got a lot of people here. Yes, I am the presenter. Looks like VA. Looks like it's a VA for one of our members. Sweet. Okay, cool. Let's get going, guys. So again, this call, I get this question a lot. Excuse me. I gotta slow down. I'm excited today. I gotta slow down though. I almost choked on my water. So today's question is gonna be, I don't know where to start marketing. So I get this question a lot. or this gets sent through to support a lot. Uh, Now, ideally, when you first sign up for your Investor Carrot website, ideally, you should already have a plan in place, right? Like me personally, I'm a believer that this is a business and you really, really need to have a plan in place. Like if you're to start a restaurant or any other business, typically we know that got to have a plan, right? To some degree. Some people can get extreme and have a 10-year plan out. Some people 5, maybe some people just kind of wing it and get started, which is great because I love action takers. I know I wouldn't be where I'm at just, if I didn't just take action. I didn't do it in the prettiest way, but I took action. So, but here's kind of my point is that when coming into Investor Carrot, I really would ideally like to have people have a goal on what they're looking to get out of the website, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people that kind of come in and leave discouraged, again, just being transparent, are those that didn't really have a plan. They just kind of assume that the website is just going to kind of just take off for them, that it was just going to just pull in leads without much effort, or that you can just market once or twice here and then market there, and it's just that it's just going to go to the next level, right? So, but really, in any business, in anything that you're doing, you should have a plan. So having a website is the same thing. And of course, with Investor Carrot website, we really specialize and focus on inbound marketing, right? That's why I love SEO. I love pay-per-click because really it's not about trying to create traffic. It's about positioning where your traffic is. Okay. So ideally, I hope most of you have at least an idea of why you have the websites. And it's not just because people say, well, you should have one, or because you heard someone having great success and now you feel like you should have a website. Again, it's a great place to start. So I'm not saying things have to be perfect and you should know, but I really challenge you to really know how you want it, what you want to get out of the website. We got some members that don't care about SEO or pay-per-click. They're just driving traffic using direct mail strategically. Okay. I know there's a lot of rules and things that are taught that you shouldn't put a website on your postcard. I kind of disagree with that because times have changed. I teach a lot on that in our one-on-one strategy calls. But again, there's so many ways you can use your website strategically, right? And that's what the one-on-one coaching calls really do, because we want to put together a call or a strategy that's really based on around what your resources are, not just throw something to you that you just can't implement because the plan might require that you have a $20,000 budget or $2,000 budget, whatever. So anyway, so this call really is going to help you hone in, at least get you guys started, and hopefully get you started. And then, that's when you begin to learn, you begin to see things that you didn't see before. And really, or this is a perfect plan too, what we're going to discuss. If you guys are looking to get into new markets, right? You don't really maybe not know the market very well yet. You should, but maybe you don't, right? Again, I love action takers, and sometimes you can just blindly take action. That's a lot better than get into perfection mode. So anyways, so this is a good strategy if you guys are going to start also doing some virtual stuff as well. Right. So, Brian, Brian from the Philippines, looks like he's one of our members as VA. So awesome. Cool. So cool. All right. So what we're going to cover is, again, basically 3 things is kind of my objective, but we're probably going to kind of be all over the place because a lot of this is going to be, I forgot to take something out. A lot of this is going to really depend on what you guys need from me, right? I want you guys to draw out information from me because I want the information to be relevant to where you guys are at and to what your real needs are. I don't want to go through this presentation and just kind of make it sound cool, sound sexy, but yet you guys get nothing out of it because, these calls are for you. These calls is about giving you action or give you strategy that you can take action on like today, and it can make an impact. Okay. So please, that's why I'm really, really urging you guys to really make this call interactive. Ask questions as I ask questions as I ask questions as well. Please, let's get some feedback. Let's get some engagement. So, so everybody's kind of helping each other out, and and you're getting the best out of this call because this is an hour or 2 hours you'll never get back. So make the most out of it. So, Jim, awesome. Yep, you are in the right place. It's Yep. Cool. Man, so many people today. Welcome in, Jim. All right. So again, what we're going to cover is the low-hanging fruit for motivated sellers, best effective ads for cash buyers. And then I put LOL there because me and Brendan were kind of shooting around some ideas. And, I don't know if you guys ever use Google Docs or Google and Google Drive. And, you can create docs and, when two people are sharing, you can kind of basically, you can see what other people's doing. And he made a joke on something and I just put LOL and I forgot to take it out. So that's how much fun we have at Investor Carrot, by the way. So, all right. And then also, of course, set up your cash buyers for success. Okay. So that's kind of the three things I really want to tackle. Again, a lot of it though is going to depend on your questions and where you guys need this help. So anyway, so let me ask this. So how many of you is everybody wholesaling in this call? Okay. Is everybody wholesaling? And if you are, do you have your cash buyer site? Okay. If I can get quick yeses or nos, let me know. Let's kind of get this call going. So, all right. So, I'm going to start adding some notes here and, as I go along, so you guys will have access to this. So let's see. All right. Okay. We're not quite ready for that. So, okay, cool. All right, cool. All right. So Todd, Suzanne, all right, awesome. We're getting a lot of yeses already. Cool. Okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. So Danny, oh, awesome. So Danny, would you mind if we set up your cash buyer site on this call? Would you be okay with that? Let me know. Because I do want to. The first thing we want to do is make sure. I'm probably going to go over number 3 first, which is set up your cash buyers for success. So if that's okay with you, we can do it right here, right now. So let me just see if I can locate you. Let me know, Danny. That would be awesome if we can do that. Okay. All right, let's see how I can do this. So I'm going to go ahead and just get out of my screen here. And let's see. All right, give me just a second. I'm going to bring up. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, if you're cool with that, all right, give me just a sec. I'm going to go ahead and launch that right now, and we'll go ahead and work on it. All right, so what I'm doing now, guys, I'm going to use Danny. So everybody tell Danny, thank you for letting us use his site. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to launch his cash buyer site. Okay. Okay. All right, let's take a little bit. Okay, there we go. So, all right. All right, let's go ahead and get this set up. One thing I love about using Apple is you can copy and paste on one machine and then get over to the next machine. So that's cool. All right, let's go ahead and do this. All right. All right. Yeah. So okay. So the first thing that we're going to discuss, guys, is really let's get your cash buyer tuned up. Now, one of the things that I always recommend, I know that a lot of times and plus I want you guys to work efficiently, right? So I know a lot of times there are many times we talk about, personalizing, localizing, all that. But one thing I will say with the cash buyer sites, you don't really have to go into depth when it comes to the personalization. I'd rather have you save that time and just use it for marketing, or maybe working on some elements of your website, seller site. Okay. And the reason why is a cash buyer is a whole different type of lead than a seller. Okay. So I know a lot of time, again, I know we discuss a lot about personalization, and we talk about phase one. So phase one in the Carrot Guide, we go through talking about, tweaking your brand, localizing your site, adding credibility factors. The reason why we push phase one is usually I tell people that's ideally best for your motivated seller site, because a motivated seller is a whole different type lead than a cash buyer. Both of them have different goals. Okay. So you don't have to go into depth on adding all these different things. Now, if you do have cash buyers, and if you've been wholesaling for a while, and you do have some testimonials from cash buyers, like you just came through, your deals are always the best, gather them for sure, use them. Okay. But I just don't want you guys having to put all this work in when you really don't need to. Okay. So like for me, let me just bring up my website. So here's my cash buyer site, and you see, I just kind of kept everything intact. So what I did is this is one of my first properties that I've ever acquired. So that's kind of sentimental. So I kind of use that as my background. But other than that, I'm just, I don't really have testimonials set up. I don't really have anything. And it's never hurt me. Okay. So just pretty much, again, it's all about working efficiently. So I am going through a rebranding. So that's why I have no logo. But if you do have a company logo, that's more geared towards your business name. Like, let me see. Let me bring up my old website. So the same goes for my my credibility site. Like, so I don't go in really depth as trying to personalize, all localize, because again, credibility is just for credibility. Okay, so the only thing I did was just kind of slap on my logo, and that's all I did with my cash buyer site, is simply kind of personalize it with a picture, and then put my company logo. And when I say company logo, I know you guys, like, here's my logo for my seller site. But again, this ain't a true company logo. I use a logo that more or less communicates what I do, not who I am. But with a cash buyer site, you do want a brand, because remember, you're trying to create relationships. So you do want your brand, your company name to always stick out. Okay. You want it to be remembered, because with cash buyers, you're trying to create relationship, where with motivated sellers, you're creating it. Really, it's a one-time transaction. Okay. So that's the difference between the type of logo that I use on my cash buyer site and the seller site. It's two whole different lead types, and each lead type just have different goals. Okay. So I really recommend focusing some branding on your cash buyer site, because again, you do want to be remembered. That's what branding is, right? It's creating that perception to your customer. In this case, it's cash buyers. Okay. So, all right. So, so what you want to do, so, and also too, I'm sure one of the questions that I just launched a site. So a lot of the default is already set up. So, so there's the Tampa information, there's this here, and you'll notice on my site, I made it more generic. Okay. And the reason why I do that is I do a lot of virtual wholesaling. So I'm in different markets. So that's why I made it very general. I know with motivated sellers, we tend to set up multiple websites. Again, it's two whole different type leads. Like, I probably have 5 or 6 motivated seller sites. Okay. I tend to go with one website per state, because I want to localize the site. Because a seller, you have to nourish them. You have to hold their hands. That's why the strategy is different. Where a cash buyer, they just want a resource for deals. So and a lot of times they don't really care where you're at. They just want to know if you have any local deals. So that's why I chose just to make mine generic, because I'm in multiple markets. Okay. So just in case you saw a difference between how yours may be set up. Okay. So, and I do this again because I'm in multiple markets, and I just want to use one website. That's why I chose a toll-free number. Okay, because I'm going to use the site. So if I want to generate more deals or more cash buyers in North Carolina, more in Pittsburgh, more in Ohio, I got a website that's a national site as well. I'm testing that, so I'll use this to market there in any site, without tying it down to one location. So that's the reason why. But if you guys are, so let's say that Danny, let's just say Danny is just going to focus 100% on Tampa and the surrounding areas. Then you do want to localize it like here. Okay. So, because you want that confidence that, yeah, we do have local. So it kind of adds the element. So the first thing that you guys need to change and look at is make sure you're changing this out. Okay. And I'm going to write down some stuff too here. So the first thing you guys need to change, sorry if I'm banging my mic. So the first thing that needs to change here is right here. You need to evaluate this number. Okay. Some markets, 10K might be a real steal, right? It's a deal, and what I meant was say steal, but either way works. So you guys need to evaluate, because if this number is just not a true deal, you could be losing your credibility pretty quick, right? So like for me, when I first got started in real estate, it said at 100K, and the market I was in, the deals that I need to pick up were probably around 10 grand, 15 grand. So if a cash buyer were to look at, if I never changed this in that market, it's like, what do you mean investment properties under 10K? That's not a deal, right? Because they look at this number and they're stuck on it. So make sure you guys are first adjusting this. Okay. So, and it's really simple the way you're going to do that. So if you guys need to make that adjustment, because again, you want the site to be credible. Okay. So, I think I'm signed into my own personal account. So let me get out of that. Okay. So that what you want to do is just I'm going directly into the edit page of the home page. Okay. Okay. So the first place that you're going to make that change is right here. It's in the hero section. Okay. So you guys are going to change that. So change that to what is a true deal. Now, if you want to just kind of do it like mine and just make it generic, that's fine. Just take it out and then just rewrite this part. Okay. And then the other thing you'll need to do real quick. Okay. Once you're done with that, update that. You'll need to go into forms. And then you need to find that first. Okay, let's see. I forgot which one it was. I'm trying to find that step 1 form. Media access. Okay. So it's this one here. So you need to go into form settings and then remove it right here too. Under form settings, change that number or just get rid of it. Okay. So if you don't want to label what the deals are number wise, either remove it or just change it. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing you do. Danny, do we need to change that number, that 100K, to something different? Does it need to be higher or lower? Since I'm in here, let's go ahead and take care of it. Well, I'm waiting for your answer. Let me answer this question. All right. Should my motivated seller site name and company different from my bias? Yeah, for me, Jason, yes. I recommend that. So the question that Jason has is, should my motivated seller site name and company different from my buyer site and company? No, I mean, so how do I, just so that we don't get confused. So look at it this way. Your motivated seller should be about communicating what you do, not who you are. Okay. So I don't want you to go out and create a new entity just for your seller site. Okay. Your motivated seller site is simply an arm of your marketing. Okay. So like my entity name for this market is Anez Investments. So, right. So here's my credibility site. And this is before I'm rebranding right now. So, so this one said Anez, this was Anez Properties too. So what I did is, I simply communicate for marketing purposes on the front end and in the logo. more of communicating what I do versus who I am. Because you tell me, like, if I were to put this logo here and compare it to this one, what if you're a motivated seller, which one would draw you in emotionally? This logo or this logo? Okay, so it's more of a strategic approach on why I choose this logo and not this one for my seller site. Because sellers, you need to draw them in. When they first come on your site, you want them to feel like they found what they're looking for. Okay, so you want to really entice them and be clear that this is what they're looking for. And to me, that's why the logo really is valuable space. To me, my mindset is the logo should set the tone. Okay, so but I'm not creating a whole new entity at all, and I'm still mentioning my business name on the site. Right here, Inez Investments. Okay, so I'm still using my business information is still sprinkled in, but for marketing, I'm just putting I'm more communicating what I do, not who I am. Okay, because I'm not trying to brand. Um, Now you might have to brand in some markets. So here's kind of my rule of thumb. The only time I really focus on branding will be if I'm in a market that has a very high medium price point, because usually in a medium price point, people are going to be more educated. So you probably need to focus more on branding more because people like dealing with companies, not necessarily individuals. Okay. So again, you got to be very strategic. That's why it's so important you guys know your market. Okay. If you know your market and the people in that market, you'll know how to communicate properly. You can't speak too formal to an uneducated crowd, and vice versa. You can't you can't be uneducated and to a very educated people because their expectations is really what determines whether they engage with you or whether they trust you or they think you're credible. Okay, so does that make sense, Jason? I know it's kind of pretty deep, um, for sure, but hopefully that makes some sense. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a good way of putting it. Yep. Okay, so okay, sweet. Okay. Now, so Danny says generic might be better for okay, so what we'll do is yeah, let's just if you feel like this is maybe because here's the thing. We're not here to explain on the website. Like when someone first because here's the thing, when people first land on your website, what they see is always determined on their interpretation, on their uh from their perspective. I always say that. That's why you always want to look at your marketing from the other person's perspective and not yours. So for me, if I ask myself that, well, this number possibly could this possibly have someone disqualify themselves, right? So if Danny has cash buyers that some buy at 800,000 and then he has some buyers that buy at 10K or 15K, he probably needs to generalize this, right? So, but if he specializes in a certain neighborhood, let's just say a war zone or whatever, then yeah, it's okay to really label this. But if you really have a big gap and you service all different type cash buyers, you definitely want to make that more generic. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And you can change this too, but since we're in here, I just want to give a really good example. So again, because I really want to focus on making sure that you have the credibility stuff nailed down before you start really marketing, because you don't want to lose you don't want someone looking at your site and say, what do you mean, 10K? This person doesn't even know what they're talking about. I don't want people to kind of label any of you that way. So let's see. So how can we phrase this? Uh, let's see. Let's see. Great. It's just gonna say Tampa. I mean, it depends on how formal you want to get. I mean, you could say awesome Tampa. That's it could be property deals. Awesome. It could be awesome property deals for. Let me just put awesome property awesome property deals for Tampa investors. You know, something that really kind of captures that attention. Um, or something like that. So let me just take a look at that. Because I want to really make an impression, like when someone first lands on the site, you definitely want to get a logo made too. I don't know if you have a company logo. That'll kind of really make the website a lot better. You know, change, you know, where the website really is engaging with your colors, um, for sure. So let's see. Yeah, I don't really like it. So I like yours. Okay. Yeah, I like yours. All right. So yeah. So again, you know, just kind of choose something quick. Um, all right. Danny, send through your logo. I mean, not send through. Send through your seller site for me. Let me look at it. 'Cause that might be a good teaching opportunity to show whether I would put that logo on this site or not. Investment properties. Okay, so that's what Danny chose. So nothing. I mean, it's good. So if you're wondering why I'm choosing that, Danny threw that in. So investment properties at wholesale deals. So yeah, so something like that. We'll update that. So let me just go ahead and go through the. Let me go back to the form because that form has that number baked into it, which is here. So I'm gonna go to settings. Um, so I'm just get rid of that. Save that. Update it. So let me ask you this: Performance Real Estate Solutions, is that your actual entity? Okay. So like here, yeah, let me wait for an answer. Okay, so this is an LLC. So yeah, so what I would do, man, this is what I would do for you. So if this is a true entity, what I would do if I were you is I probably wouldn't use this for my seller site, like Performance Real Estate Solutions. I mean, yeah, I mean it's good. I like the logo. So if you're really focused on the Florida market, what I would probably do is, put, Tampa, you know, sell your house, sell your. Let's see, I'm trying to think. So, um, yeah, let me get in here first. I like the logo for sure, but let me and the reason why I'm spending some time on this, guys, is that I want you guys to see a true model. So just kind of parallel what we're doing here, here. So, um, first of all, I'm not really a big fan of background colors like this because you want to provide a good experience to anybody that comes on your site. Okay, so one of the industries that figured out what's called easy readability is newspaper companies. There's a reason why they choose all white background with black uh, ink or black ink, excuse me, because it's just easy on the eyes and that helps people engage with your content longer. Okay, so when you kind of begin to put stuff in like this, it can be really, really distracting. Um, so I'm gonna just change that back to white. You see how this just changes the whole dynamic of the site. So then let's see. All right, let's go ahead and do some quick coloring. I don't like blue because everyone who uses carrot tends to stay with the blue. So I want you to stand out. So I kind of like this little teal. Let's see if I can match that up. Okay. I kind of like this color here, but I don't think I don't know. I mean, safe thing would be just to match up your colors just with this here. You know, kind of match up your colors. Yeah, I'll just keep it like that. And then the main thing is just definitely change out the background picture, and that'll just change the whole dynamic of the website. Okay, so do that. I already removed it for you. So see how it just changed it just a heck of a lot better, right? So but yeah, so me personally, I probably wouldn't put this on your seller site. I mean, it just your performance real estate buyers, right? So it just doesn't really mesh well with this. You want everything to make sense. You want everything to flow well together. Just don't so you guys don't just throw logos just because it's on one website. Just don't throw it on another website. Make sure it makes sense. Okay. So I'm gonna have you decide what that is. I like this logo, but maybe performance real estate solutions. Maybe get rid of this logo or this tagline and make it more on, hey, we buy houses as is without hassle or something that really relates. Just kind of like what I did here. I put a tagline and it just really helps people know what we do and who we, like this is what we do. Okay. We're cash buyers. We buy houses as is, no contingency. So I'm making a promise. Okay. So this one is just kind of so you might want to give it some thought on what you think sellers might relate to, and then also what your cash buyers are going to relate to. Okay. So, anyways, you'll kind of get him off course there. So, make sure that we do that. So we remove that. I would just replace this picture. Just changes the whole dynamic of the website. Okay. So get that done. All right. And that's really the extent I would do this, guys. Just that's the extent of what I would do. Just a background picture. Just make sure that all the stuff on the front end is legit. Make sure that you're not setting yourself up for failure. And then also, the next thing I need you guys to do is this kind of really will help you. Now, this is the part that's very, very important, and you might need to get some help on this with support. I know some of you guys don't deem yourself credible, but this is the most important part about the whole website. Okay. And what we're talking about today. So you need to go into content. All right. Go to forms. Then you're going to find step 2. Okay. All right. I'm just going to go into edit. It's taking its time. So yeah. So Jason, I mean, I totally know where you're coming from, but here's the thing. It's all about lead generation. Your website, your cash buyers might look good. I mean, if you want to send through your cash buyer site, I can take a look at it. But here's the thing is that when you're marketing for cash buyers, you're probably going to be doing it on Facebook, Craigslist, pay per click, back page, however that might be. You need a website that's able to convert. That's what I care about. I don't care how nice it looks. It's about what does it have data capacity and to be able to convert when someone comes through your website, whether they're on their computer or whether they are on their mobile phone. Okay, so and plus, there's certain reasons why the way that our websites are set up performs well, why it converts well. That's the key word there. Okay, but I can go into that once you send through your website. So here's kind of the thing that I like to do. Okay, this is the step 2 form. This is where someone goes once they fill out the form. Okay, go through here and make sure that you're asking all the questions that need to be answered for you to really know how to dial in. Okay. So me personally, like I kind of added see what areas. So what I like to do is so I'm in here. So what I'll do is let me see if I'm editing. Yep. Okay. All right. Good. So what I like to do is I'll copy this here, copy it, and then I'm just going to edit. What are your favorite zip codes? Okay. And me personally, I do make this required. Because for me, the way I look at it, I mean, there's going to be always an argument. You know, what if someone? Can you guys hear me? Oh, yeah. For some reason, cool. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Let me know. I want to. I don't want to continue on unless I know you guys can hear me. Crazy. All right. Yeah, my audio might have went out for a little bit. Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I lost audio there for a second, so I'm sorry about that, guys. Where did I lose audio? Can someone let me know where we? Hey, Angela, how are you? Um, Let me know where you guys lost me. I really don't know how long the audio was off. If someone can help me out with that, I can go back and review. Oh, good. Okay, cool. All right, so not too long. So what I was saying was, I like to I add this right here. What are your favorite zip codes? Okay, and I do make it a requirement. Now, what I was going to say was, there's this argument to where like, what if they don't want to give it, and that might turn them off from submitting. So the way I look at it is, if this is a true cash buyer, they should appreciate this question. Because like me, if you're a cash buyer, you hate being sent deals that are not even in places you want to buy, right? So like for me, if I sent someone to go shopping for me and they brought back things I didn't want, I'd probably be annoyed. Okay, so I personally like to make this required. Okay, so okay, cool. All right, so that's what I would do right here. So really simplest way to do it, guys, just to make it easy, is find this one here. What areas will you buy in, and then just copy as I did. So duplicate that, and I'll erase this. So duplicate it, and then just go here and see this little this little button. Change out the wording, and then for rules, click required. Okay. All right. So that's all you're gonna do. Just instead of you having to create something brand new, just copy something that's already there and just change out the wording. So, all right, let me just go and get rid of this. All right. All right. Cool. All right. Got it. All right. And then one other thing that I began to do is, let's see. All right, cool. Just go through here. All right, so all right. And here's kind of an advanced one that I may not really get into right now, because man, we're already up to an hour already. So what I like to do is I like to add if I just started adding, this on mine. Was I'm asking is if they purchase, or if you're a rental landlord, if you're buying properties for cash flow, are you refinancing? Okay. And I asked them, where do you need to be all in? Okay. Because someone who refinance, so I know a lot of my the reason why I kind of, that caught my attention was, I was having a really cool conversation with another investor, and we were talking about, because she's a cash flow landlord, and she brought up a great point about how she's someone who uses private money to purchase, and then she cashes out with a local bank. Okay, so that's why it's so important that she has to be at a certain number for her all-in price, because she's going to refinance. And her biggest frustration is when wholesalers bring her deals that are way, or that don't even work. So I said, man, that's a really good idea. So what I'm starting to do is I'm asking those additional questions if they're rental landlords. So if they tell me that their houses to hold as rentals, this particular, I use Active Campaign. I don't use MailChimp or any of those. I use Active Campaign. And what happens is, if this person it's pretty advanced. I don't have time to really go over it, but what I do is, if the person chooses that they're a rental person, they get put in a my landlord bucket. And then one of the first emails they get is, we asked them, hey, do you refinance your property, or are you just buying it cash? Because like I would never send them a deal if that deal wasn't in their criteria. Okay, so that's how advanced you guys can really get with the questions. So and the reason why I'm bringing that up is, these questions, make sure you guys just review it. If there's some stuff that just don't make sense or just doesn't apply, get rid of it. It's one less question that you have to ask, and it's not relevant. So you guys, make sure you guys go through this and make sure that you guys are really asking the right questions. And there's some stuff in here that you just don't want to do. Get rid of it. Okay. So, right. So, and then like this one, I probably wouldn't. Now, if like me personally, I set up email sequences where we sent out articles and other resources. So it made sense for us to keep it in here. But if you guys are not going to send them blog posts or any of that stuff, I'll get rid of this. Right. It's just one less question to ask, and one less question they feel like they have to answer. Okay. So just go through this and make sure that you guys are all setting this up correctly. Okay. So let me make sure I did everything right. So, all right. So pay attention to this one, guys, right here. Okay. All right. Okay. So next thing. All right. So cool. So the next thing that we need to do is, again, we're going after the low hanging fruit. Okay. So let's do this. So what I like to do is, my biggest resources is going to be free. Okay. Okay. One is Facebook, and then the other one's Craigslist. Okay. So again, this is online lead generation. I know there's so many other ways to get traffic for cash buyers, but we're talking about online lead generation, and this was like the quickest way to do this. So, so Facebook and Craigslist. So I'm going to cover Craigslist first. So anyways, but let's do this. So let me move this up. So here's the key. I run two different ads. Okay. One's going to be for rehabbers, and one's going to be for landlords. Okay. And why do I do that? Let me tell you why. So let's discuss this first. Okay. Why do you run ads to? Okay. So let me. All right. Getting creative here. So, cool. All right. So I'm gonna say this. People don't like to be addressed as a group. Okay. So what does that mean? All right, let me make sure you guys are still following. Yep. All right, Jim. Hey, Jim. Yep, we're here. All right. So cool. So people don't like to be addressed as a group. So what I mean that on that is example is are you so here's an ad, right? Are you looking for your next deal or join our VIP lists for great deals? Okay. What's another generic one are you looking for? Who has give me an example, guys. What do you think a generic general one is? Okay, but I'm just showing you some examples. Okay, so to me, anyways, disregard. We got I don't want to waste any time. So so these are to me generic, right? So I mean, don't get me wrong, these can be effective. Okay, so I know that we give some good examples inside. Um, all right, hold on. Give me just a second. All right. Let's see. Okay, so here's some Craigslist ads that we give you as examples, right? So again, nothing wrong with these. I mean, like right here says investment property like Tampa or Wilmington investment properties. So these are kind of ones you can run with. Again, you can just copy and paste these. Totally nothing wrong with that. Local investor buying Seco, so these are some examples, but what I like to do is kind of take it a step further. Okay. To me, this is being too general. Again, nothing wrong with this. You may want to test this. Okay, so a lot of times it's all about testing, but I really like to be dialed in. Um, let's see here. Let's yep. Todd, no, no, we're good. Let me know. Yeah, let me know, Todd. Let me know you can hear us because everyone's. Can you guys all hear me? Okay. Some people saying that they're. Let me know you guys can hear me and see me. Okay, cool. All right. All right, cool. So here's the thing. So this is being too general. Okay. So again, nothing wrong with that. Okay. So what I would like to do is okay, cool. Thanks, Danny. All right. So here's kind of what I do. All right. So instead of being too general like this, I run two ads. So ad number one. Are you looking for your next rehab project? Okay, and then my ad number two is, are you looking to increase your cash flow? All right. Alrighty. So let me ask you this, guys. Which one do you think is more effective? The one where you're addressing everyone as a group or the one individually? And so here's kind of the idea. You're going to get people's attention when you speak their language. Okay? That's why me personally, I like to test separate ads when I'm generating leads for rental or landlords or and then rehabbers. Okay. Do you think that this will get a rehabber's attention, like just like instantly, versus which one do you think is going to get their attention as the headliner? This? Are you looking for your? Let's see. Sorry. Are you looking for your next? That's what I put. Okay. That's what I put. So, do you think that I'm these are great resources. So, do you think so? Tampa, I'll just use Danny's market as an example. So, do you think says Tampa investment property deals, will that tickle you more? Or will right here, are you looking for your next rehab project in Tampa or whatever city you want to do? See how you're talking specifically now to the individual rehabber and then their location. So you tell me which one's going to get someone's attention. So a lot of times people say, well, I'm doing ads, I'm not getting leads. Sometimes also it's not necessarily that Craigslist don't work or something's wrong with the website. Sometimes the problem sometimes lies in your offer. Okay. You can have the best website, you can have everything lined up, right? But if your offer is not good, you're not going to get attention. And to me, this is the offer. Are you looking for your next rehab project in Tampa? Are you looking to increase your rental cash flow, right? Because now you're going to get these person's attention because you're speaking their specific language. So now visually, you're going to get their attention because you're speaking their language. And two, you're speaking specifically to their goal. Okay. Remember, that's why people are coming to your site because they're looking for deals. Okay. So, and this is one great way to increase your engagement like instantly. A lot of times we think it's the website's problem or Facebook is so saturated, but sometimes the best way to cut through the clutter is, I like to say, court your cash buyers. And the best way to court them is speak their language, and that's a very, really easy hack way to do that. Okay. So, so who's going to do this? Who's going to test this? I would love to have some people actually test this in your local market, and you tell me if you get better engagement. So I would love to let me know, guys, who's willing to test this in your market. Okay. So that's what you're going to do. So again, just to recap, because remember, one of the objectives on this call was make sure you get your cash buyer site up and running. So get your logo, change this picture out, look at the 100K number, make sure that's accurate. If not, change it or eliminate it. And then the other part was review your step 2 form. Make sure you have the right questions, and also add what zip codes are you buying in. Okay, very, very, very important. So now you have the website up. And then you're going to create 2 ads. Okay. So what you can do is the headliner is swap this out. And then you guys can still use this part, maybe change some of the verbiage. So for the landlord guy, enter some information here that can really speak again to their language. So like this here is perfect. This is perfect information for a rehabber. Okay. So now you may have to change this up a little bit and just, change it out with more of the cash flow type rentals, what's important to your landlord, right? And enter that here. Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, yeah, Danny makes a great point. I found that Craigslist only allows 3 ads posts per email per day. So if there's limitations, again, we're not talking about just doing this exclusively on Craigslist, so part of it too is if you're in a market to where you're seeing that it's a rent, like in my market, and one of the markets I'm in, man, rental properties is the thing. So if I was limited to whether I can only run a certain amount of ads on Craigslist, I would run ads for specifically the type of cash buyers I want to focus on. So in this case, it would be cash flow guys. Okay, so I'm not saying so so I mean you might have to test a few, and yeah, there might be some limitations. So you just kind of have to be kind of creative around that. But at the same time, be conservative because you don't want your account to be flagged, or so it might require that you guys just start with one ad for now, right? Do one ad today, do the next one tomorrow or the day before, right? So you don't want to just quickly just jump into this and just throwing ads around. Be very conservative. Okay. So, all right, cool. All right. So that's what you're going to do. So again, Craigslist is going to be one option. Now, the problem with Craigslist is that you are going to have a lot of spam. You are going to have a lot of tire kickers. You are going to have a lot of wholesalers that are going to also be on your list. You just kind of have to do a good job of trying to weed them out the best you can. Okay. All right. So let's focus on Facebook. So, the other thing too, Craigslist. I mean, you can substitute that with substitute that with Backpage and some other online platforms, maybe that there is locally in your market. So, all right, so let's do this. All right. All right. So the next thing, so for me, the other low hanging fruit is going to be Facebook. Okay. I keep hitting my microphone. Sorry about that, guys. So one of the beauties with Facebook is this. Okay. Is search. Okay. So one of the things I would start doing is start engage. One of the big things with Facebook is awesome is groups. Okay. There's a lot of groups in there. So let's just use for an example. I'll just use Pittsburgh. So the best thing to do is start with your. Well, you know what? Let's do Danny. So we'll see Tampa. So I'm gonna start spelling out Tampa. I need to know how to spell, and I'm just gonna start putting real estate. Right here. So just by putting in real, all these are popping up. So what I'm gonna do, you might have to mine a little bit, MINE. So I'm gonna start right here, Tampa real estate wholesale investing. Okay, so it looks like these are just then you see this here says all. What I do is find groups. Okay, so change that over. So looks like man, it right here. Wholesale. So what I would do is I'll just ask to join. Okay. Why do you want to join? I'm just put networking. Okay, so usually when it's really guarded like that, it's a solid group. To me, I've found that by finding spammy ones, the ones that tend to be more spammy or people don't really care about is the ones that you can just kind of request and you're already in. So usually the really good ones is those that really kind of they have to approve you. Okay, so all right, so this one, so that one's cool. So I'm gonna check out this one here. That one has a lot of members. So same thing, for sale, rent. Okay, so I'll just join. I know a lot of these guys, so I'm just gonna join. So it's pending. Okay, so that's cool. So I found one. I'll just keep looking. So real estate. So I'm gonna look at this is the one I ran into first. I'm gonna use investment next. See if I find anything. So I'm gonna sort by groups. So this one has 624 members. So I might join that. Request sent. So that's good. This one has 414. So yeah, I'll join that. 118. I mean, it really, yeah, you just gotta have to pick and choose. 10 members, I probably won't join. That I probably won't join. 12 members, I probably won't join. Yeah, this one I might. So, all right. So this one looks like it's guarded. All right. So, all right, cool. So again, you just kind of have to mine for good groups. Okay. So you can, so what I would suggest is you guys just kind of, so if you guys are going to a new market, yeah, just look up the city and start typing in some stuff and see what comes up and just start joining those groups. So now what you want to do, obviously I can't join these. So I'm going to just, let me go to Pittsburgh. Oops. Like I really like this one in Pittsburgh because they're a great example. So let me see which one it was. Right here. This is an awesome group. It's a closed group. They have really strict guidelines, which is awesome. So, man, just sometimes I'll just spend time in here and just kind of seeing who is posting, and then I'll see who's engaging. A lot of times, like here, wholesalers look here. I'm looking to pick up a few solid rentals. So sometimes cash buyers will give the requirements, right? And that's really cool. So these are the really good ones to where cash buyers are in here. This guy's a real cash buyer for sure. So I mean, I know this is legit. So I mean, I mean, this is gold right here. Okay, so and what I like to do is I like to engage. So what I would do, and if I wasn't in this market, I would say, hey Josh, I see your criteria. Would it be cool if I add you to my cash buyers list off of my website? And then I already has his website, and I'll get his permission. But here's a cool thing: I want other people to see my comment, right? And then people say, hey, Adrian, they'll tag me. Hey, Adrian, add me to your list too, right? So then I'll just come in here. Actually, I never heard this name before. So yeah. So just kind of see who is engaging. Like right here, Kenny, right here. So, so obviously this is a deal. So this guy said, hey, interested, mentioned many times. So boom, there's another person that I could engage with, right? Right here. Oh, see, this is beautiful. So, hey, are you a cash buyer, Kenny? So it looks like Johnny called him out in a good way. It's not a bad thing. So, and then what to say? Kenny says, depend on the price. Johnny, if you can email me proof of funds, I can tell you if you are in range. Okay. So yeah, so this guy's really qualifying people who are responding, which is cool. You kind of see who's legit and who's not. So, okay, so this kind of tells you too. Like, I like what this guy did, Johnny. So it looks like eventually this guy kind of wasn't ideal, so he disqualified themselves. So it's really cool. I mean, it's gold, like how you can find stuff like that. So anyway, so that's how you begin to do your cash buyers list. Okay, so now what happens is, as people begin to your cash buyers, you begin to see where your cash buyers are at. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to this guy right here. Get rid of that. So right here, this is so this guy's a cash buyer. So what I would do is I would start looking into if this guy won't let's just say he wouldn't give up the zip code. So I got to do my do. So right here, love it. So I'm gonna record this. Okay, I'm gonna write this down somewhere, and I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so now what happens is, one thing I love, guys, is, to me, I love pay-per-click. Okay, so a lot of times now we don't have time to go and do a pay-per-click setup, but if you guys go into coaching calls, there's 2 calls that you can pretty much do. Is right here. Actually, one of my favorite calls of the year is 135. And what I want you guys to do is watch 135. That will show you how to really target your PPC. And the cool thing is that, man, your cost is going to be so minimal, because the only reason why pay-per-click gets so expensive is because most people try and blanket the entire market or the entire city. So I'm not going to target the whole area of Pittsburgh. I'm just going to target these areas that he's wanting because I know I have a solid cash buyer. So that makes my spend so much cheaper and more effective. And then also, if you guys are doing bandit signs, okay, you're doing bandit signs. Now you know where to put those signs, and you're just not kind of randomly just hiring someone and just say, hey, just throw them out all over the city, right? At least you're a little bit more targeted. Okay, if you're doing Facebook ads, now I would start running ads just in the specific zip code. So not only are you doing pay per click, remember you're doing this is the cost effective way. If you're doing any offline marketing, like bandit signs, now you know where to surround your signs, right? And then also with Facebook, this is where you're going to start running your ads. Okay, so again, I know this is just one person, but if you can get at least 5 solid cash buyers, really solid ones, those are the ones that will focus my marketing around. That's the best way to find out where to start marketing. And then because you're so dialed in, you're very specific on where you're going to target. That makes everything so much cheaper. So much cheaper for you and most effective, cost effective. You know, like me, in some markets, I'm only paying $20 per lead for pay-per-click because I'm not my numbers are not being skewed because I'm trying to blanket a whole area. So my numbers look great, but at the same time, it's because I'm very dialed in. Okay. So I really, really, really love Facebook groups. I mean, this is a perfect example of what information you can find just through using Facebook groups. Okay. Along with Craigslist. And then that data that you're getting, you can use to start running ads in Craigslist. I mean, not Craigslist Live, especially pay-per-click. And then also, even if you start doing, you start getting leads from Craigslist, and these guys are putting in their zip code. Remember, you're going to take that zip code and you're just going to start using that for pay-per-click. Okay. Again, that call that we did is going to be a requirement. Is go to what happened to it? All right, code 135 right here. 135 is that call. Okay. And in this call, again, it's not about just having a small budget. It's really teaching you the concept of dialing in with pay-per-click just by zip code. Okay. I mean, you might spend $100, $200. That's a heck of a lot better than having to dish out $1,000, $15,000, just trying to blanket a market. Okay. So, yeah, it's that simple, guys. It's just working backwards. So I know I just kind of threw a bunch at you guys, and part of it's just the time frame too. There's so much more to this as well. So, but if you guys have any specific questions, let's start that conversation now. It's already an hour and a half, and I think we kept you guys way too long last week, so I don't want to do that again. But let's start throwing some questions on this. Again, this is very simple. It's kind of reverse, so it's a great start, a great place to start when really not knowing how you're going to use your seller site, where you should be marketing, or you just need kind of someone to tell you, hey, start here. Some of us need that. So let me know. So let's start shooting out some questions. I'm going to get a glass of water or a cup of or a bottle of water. All right, come on, guys. Let's get some questions going. All right. All right. Can you guys hear me? I mean, I'm having some people, maybe it's just a little gaps and waiting for questions, but yeah, Jim, I can hear you. Yep. All right. Any questions? Come on, guys. I mean, either you guys have no questions because I just nailed it, or this training just wasn't even relevant and you guys shouldn't have been on this call. Hopefully that wasn't it, but yep. So here's the thing, Danny. I mean, this is we're kind of crossing over into real estate coaching, but um, I don't understand how zip code targeting would work if the buyers live in other zip codes. Um, so here's the thing: is that the zip code that they're giving you is where the buyers want to buy. Okay, and that's where you're going to be targeting and doing all your marketing. That's where your focus is going to be. So let me make sure I understand that correctly. So here's your question. I don't understand how zip code targeting would work if the buyers, and we're talking about cash buyers too, if the buyers live in other zip codes. In my area, they most likely do not live where I buy. So explain what you mean by that. In my area, they most likely do not live where they buy. But here's the thing. That's fine because most people searching are going to be involved. So even if someone lives in let's say lives in Arizona, if they want to invest in Pittsburgh, they're going to be going into these groups. Okay, so really, to me, I don't care where someone lives. I want to know where they want to buy. Okay, and that's the information that you're gathering. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, is there a coaching call that speaks on initial marketing strategy? That's kind of a loaded question, Jim. What do you mean by marketing strategy? Yeah, we definitely have. Tell me what your goal is, and then there might be a coaching call that I would recommend, or just set up a strategy call. We can discuss that there too. So again, this call is more about using your cash buyer site to really get some ideas where to market and how to market your seller site. Yeah. So Angela says for zip code targeting with the intent to use for PPC, what's a good number for zip codes to start with keeping things limited? That's really hard to say. I mean, that's one of those things you guys are going to have to just figure out on what's best. It could be because a lot of it depends on your market. So, I mean, in some markets, a zip code might only be 2 blocks. Then, so you might be in a market to where you have to go after 15 zip codes. If it's like that, then there's some markets to where a zip code is like 50 blocks. So you might just need 2 zip codes. So you just kind of have to figure that out. Um, there's really no, um, there's really no clear answer I can give you because some stuff you guys are gonna have to kind of test and tweak and kind of mess with on your end. We're just kind of giving you a really cool starting point. Oh, cool. All right. You answered the question already. Okay. Sweet. All right. Angela, did that make sense? Yep. Cool. And then yeah, Jim, let me know what type of marketing strategy that you're looking for. Because again, we like to give strategy based on your resources and what you're looking to get out of the site. Right. So I don't want to just randomly just give you a source. It may not even fitting within your resources. Cool. All right. All right. Any other questions? Again, this was really told you it was that simple, but sometimes you just kind of have to. All right. So let me see let me go back to this. So the low hanging fruit for seller marketing. So let me go ahead. So we went over setup. So we went over number 3, went over number 2. Actually, I should have put this all in order. It's all opposite. The low hanging fruit for seller marketing, guys, is really going to be pay per click. That's the reality of it. I like pay per click for motivated sellers. I do. Google is where people tend to go to first proactively. Okay, so when you're getting into Facebook marketing, Craigslist for sellers, it's tough because you're trying to interrupt them where them coming to you is just a better way. And I know a lot of people stay away from pay per click because there's this idea that it's expensive. It can be expensive if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, we got plenty of resources for you guys that you can learn how to do it, starting with that call with 135. Okay. Then also the pre notion with pay per click is that you got to just target the whole city. So sometimes people don't really learn the different settings that pay per click offers. It's amazing how really targeted you can be with pay per click. And the more targeted that you are, the cheaper and more effective it is. Okay. So, SEO, I love SEO, but SEO is not going to get you leads tomorrow or next month if you're just getting started. Facebook, yes, it's cheap, but again, it's still interruptive marketing, and you just got to do a really good job with your ads. You got to do a great job with getting people's attention. Okay, so and sometimes that's not. Uh, you just got to be patient with it. Your reach has to be very high before you get that one good lead. Okay, with Google, every lead could be potentially good. So the low hanging fruit is for seller marketing is going to be pay per click, because with pay per click you can start getting leads like today. Okay, so again, so I really encourage you to really look at pay per click more and more. I think it's awesome. Okay, so but also, there is a learning curve to it if you guys are going to do your own, but we have plenty of resources that can show you how to do that. Okay, so there's no excuse why you guys should not be doing pay per click or can't do pay per click. All right. Did that make sense, guys? Why I choose pay per click? And do you guys have any questions specifically on pay per click? Anything that you want to cover here? But see, again, so that's why I'm really big on collecting zip codes, because even if you guys don't do pay per click, right? At least but by knowing we're cash buyers, if you guys are going to do virtual wholesaling down the road, let's say, um, sometimes just seeing the trend of where people are wanting to buy, especially cash buyers, can really help you learn about that city as well. It can really give you some good insight. So there's a lot of reasons why gathering this type of data can really help you. And then also, even with the Facebook groups, ask questions. People are always willing to share. Hey, what's good about that market? There's gonna be some people that do withhold information. It is what it is, but it doesn't hurt to ask. Okay, so that's really how I've been able to do it in the markets I'm in, just by just research, um, establishing relationships, asking questions, knowing who to go to, and then also providing value. You know, don't just go into those groups and just start spamming people with your website. Offer something. See what conversations are going on and contribute to the conversation. You'll be amazed how people like that, and how you can really people want to give back. Sweet. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I mean, there's really no other questions. Again, I'm here, guys. This is the time to ask any other questions you have. If there's something maybe that's not related to this call, but you have a question on, I got maybe 5 minutes that we can go over some stuff. So send through your questions. And if there's nothing that comes through, then we'll call it a day. So, but yeah, again, these are just some real easy. It's going to take some work, a little bit of effort, but it's a great starting point. And to me, it's all about creating that snowball effect. At least getting the momentum going, and you'll be amazed how things can start happening just by taking that initial step. If there's some confusion on where to start, what to do first, should I start with my seller site, cash buyer site? So the purpose of this call was really to give you guys that clarity and a sense of direction, or just say, hey, do this. Sometimes we need that. All right. I'll just give a couple more minutes. Duh, duh, duh. All right. Looks like there's no questions. Oh yeah, you're welcome, guys. So yeah, if you guys found this call insightful, like I said, that's why I kind of gave warning to everyone on this call at the beginning of the call, was because I know it wasn't going to be for everybody. So hopefully those that did stay on this call, this was resourceful. I'm not into just covering stuff that just sounds good, sounds cool, makes me look smart. It's just about you guys, giving you guys low hanging fruit items that you guys can take action on, because we sincerely care for your success, and we want to give we want to really pour out our expertise, as simple as it is sometimes, and hopefully you guys take that and do something with it. So, um, can you explain why you're rebranding? I just, I want to I'm going into some markets to where it's more high end. So I'm trying to create a name that I can use that's markable. Okay. Like for me, with Motivated Sellers, Anez Investments, I just don't think it's markable. It doesn't tickle them. It doesn't do anything. So like here's one of the places I'm starting is right here, Chief Real Estate Solutions. Okay. So in this market, it's 100, the population is 100K, and it's a beach community, a medium price point, maybe 250, somewhere in that area. Some of the areas I'm targeting is more higher end. So I want to do more of the company approach. And so I'm branding to where the name is markable, and at least it kind of ties into what I want to, communicates what I do, right? Because again, Anez Investments is not going to tickle anybody. And plus, I don't like to use the word investments because when it comes to marketing to sellers, is because sometimes they might think you're a bank. Like investments, is this a mortgage company that's trying to trick me to refinance my house? I don't want to do that. Or investments, a lot of other industries are using that word differently. So sometimes using certain words can throw off sellers, and they disqualify themselves because they think you're something else. Okay, so that's why I stay away from fancy words like group, or even I know some investors that use the word realty as their business name. I mean, I get the point, but how people perceive you can either they'll disqualify themselves from engaging with you because they think you're not what they thought you were. Okay, so that's why it's all about perception. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm doing that. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it's kind of pretty deep, but I just want something to be more that I can market to both sellers and cash buyers, and just more, something really that speaks to everybody, and it makes me more as a company too. Okay, like the Pittsburgh site, it's not really I don't do that. It's more of communicating 100% what I do, not who I am. All right, does that help, Jim? Sweet. All right. Cool. I think I'm going to head out. Yeah, Angela, you're welcome. And we'll be in touch too, Angela, by the way. Sweet. Okay. Yep. Awesome. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for hopping on this call. I was hoping to make it a little bit shorter. Spend a little bit extra time on the front end on the cash buyer side than I wanted to, but I think we got everything in that needed to be explained. So, hopefully, this helps. Thank you for any feedback that you provide, as always, and thank you to all the new people that were on this call today. Hopefully, you got something out of this, out of your first coaching call, and reach out to us, and we're here for you. If you need help with more of the mechanic of the websites, or the mechanic of the website, like how do I change this, how do I add this, you guys always reach out to support. They're there for you. They're there every day, and they can help you with that. Then if you guys want a one-on-one strategy call with me, just set up that call at oncarrot.com/call, oncarrot.com/call. And you can set up a call there. Can't guarantee quick availability. Just depends on how quickly those calls get booked. So, but make sure you guys are scheduling that right away. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thank you for showing up, and have a great day. And any other questions, please send them through. Be more than happy to help you. All right. Thanks, guys.